Well, hello there and welcome to the channel. My name is Derek and today we're going to be talking about the Roland Fantom. And specifically in this video, I'm going to be doing a comparison between the Roland Fantom and the Yamaha Montage, and what I'm comparing is how they handle polyphony. That's what I'm comparing. Now, I understand that polyphony is a very complex topic, and I did show in another video that I will link up here in the video and I'll put a link in the description. I did another video where I talked about one of the things that I'm disappointed in as far as the Roland Fantom is the way it actually handles polyphony. And I find it oftentimes to be crippling, you know, depending on the playing style, what instruments and stuff I have layered together. But I find it to run out of polyphony faster than other keyboards out there on the market. And so I wanted to do a comparison to show the difference between the Yamaha Montage and the Roland Fantom. And so I just want you guys to take a look at this here, and let's go ahead and let's get into it. All right, so here we are now, and we are sitting in front of the Roland Fantom, and I've got Ableton Live opened up as well. And what I've done is I've just created as you can see here, I've just created a MIDI file or a MIDI recording. So I just captured the MIDI, and that's how I'm going to do a comparison so that there will be absolutely no differences in the actual technique that I'm using or the pedaling or whatever. Now, some of the pedaling in here is a little sloppy, admittedly, and but just, you know, just ignore that. But yeah, so I do have this MIDI and stuff set up here, and what I have set up in the Roland Fantom, first thing here, same thing I did on my last video. If you didn't catch that video, go ahead and check that last video out where I talk about the polyphony and talk about various workarounds and different things like that that you can use inside the Roland Fantom to get the most out of the keyboard. But what I have set up here, let's go to my zone view. So the first things first here, actually, nope. We go here, and because I changed it, let's go back. All right, okay. So this is my piano stack, and what I have in the zone view is the first thing. What you're looking at is a supernatural acoustic piano. That's sound number one. That's on tone number one, and tone number two is is a Roland RD1000 sound. Now the RD1000 was a sound that was a keyboard that Roland came out with in 1986, and this sound duplicates that sound. So and then I have what's called just a soft pad. So I've got a soft pad on here as well, just soft pad one. So all three of those sounds will be playing together. And so here's my MIDI recording. It's on 3 different channels, and so I just captured the audio of this stack with me playing, and this is what it sounds like. All right, so that was the first one, and that was this very stack of instruments that you're looking at here. And as you can hear, the piano is really cutting out in there. The supernatural acoustic piano just really could not keep up with the playing and the pedaling, whether it's sloppy or not. It just couldn't keep up with everything, and so we're losing polyphony left and right. Yes, I understand that the filters, the virtual analog filters and stuff that Roland has put in their unit and stuff like that, it also affects your polyphony and things like that. The supernatural acoustic piano does not have the most polyphony. Does not have the most polyphony of the pianos that are inside of the Roland Fantom. I do understand that as well. But to me, any you know, any piano really should be able to, any piano that's come out as late as the Supernatural acoustic piano should really be able to handle, you know, what I was playing. But, you know, we can go ahead and listen to, instead of just that, I did the same exact thing, and I just switched this piano out here, this first piano, and I switched it out with, instead of using the Supernatural acoustic piano, I used the zen-core, use something out of the zen-core, I believe. Let me see if I can find it here. Which one did I use? I used zen-core. I used the very first one. I used the acoustic pop piano 1, the zen-core piano. So the zen-core piano is going to give you a little bit more polyphony, and so that's one of the workarounds that somebody actually suggested on the channel. Hey, use, you know, the zen-core pianos. And so here is a zen-core piano, and I have the recording here. We got the zen-core, and we're going to play the same exact, it's the same exact MIDI file, and here it is. All right, so that was the zen-core piano there that you were listening to, and with the layered on top of the other instruments. And as you can see, even the zen-core piano, it didn't cut out quite as bad as the Supernatural acoustic piano, but it still cut out quite a bit layered on top of those other instruments. And so lastly, finally, what we have is I have a recording, or the final recording of the Roland Fantom. I have a recording of the Roland Fantom using the V piano sound engine. Now, this is one of the workarounds that I suggested in the last video that I talked about. If you're running out of polyphony using a piano, try using, if you're using the Roland Fantom, try using something out of the out of the V piano sound engine, because the V piano sound engine has unlimited polyphony. It is not going to run out no matter how many notes you have playing at the same time, no matter how much sustain pedal you are using. It's not going to run out of polyphony. And it's on its own BMC chip. And in fact, when I'm playing live, that's what I do. I use something out of the V piano sound engine. But what you have to recognize with that is that if that's what you're going to do, you are going to lose scene remain. So if scene remain is not a big deal to you, in other words, where you can switch scenes, where you can actually switch scenes, if it's not a big deal to you, that you can switch scenes and the notes sustain while you're switching scenes, then I would suggest using something out of the V piano sound engine. And so here it is with the V piano sound engine out of the Roland Fantom, and we'll just listen to that now. Here it is. So that was out of the V piano. That was out of the V piano sound engine. So if you happen to like one of the sounds, one of the piano sounds out of the V piano sound engine, that's really the one to use. And you might just have to actually give up might just have to actually give up scene remain and not have that feature, because the V piano will not hold, will not sustain when you switch scenes. So that's one of the workarounds that I talked about. And so it's a stark difference between the V piano layered with sounds and the Supernatural piano and the zen-core sounds and the zen-core pianos layered with sounds. Now, side note, the Fantom O doesn't have the V piano sound engine in it. So if you buy a Fantom O instead of buying a Fantom, you won't have the V piano option, which means you are stuck either using zen-core or stuck using the Supernatural acoustic pianos. And so you are going to have to just work with that. Maybe your playing style is not, you're not going to hear it at all, but yeah, those pianos are going to cut out. While the V piano is not going to cut out, those other ones, they're going to cut out. So that's one of the benefits of buying, you know, the big flagship instead of buying the baby brother, those polyphony issues. So now let's go ahead and pull out the Yamaha Montage, and let's see what we get with that. All right, so now we are in front of the Yamaha Montage, and we're going to do the same thing, play the same exact MIDI file, and so we can see what we have. But I just wanted to show you what I actually have going on the Yamaha Montage. Now, I set it up as equally as I could. So what I did, I have what I call my CFX super stack. And what it is the first sound actually takes up 4 different channels. So I specifically chose a piano that is actually very polyphony hungry. It's like one of the premium piano sounds in the Yamaha Montage. One of the first, when you pull up your Yamaha Montage, one of the first sounds that comes up, it's the CFX Grand. And so that's what I'm using. And it actually takes up 4 channels, so they have to have, you know, so it's got lots of long samples and stuff like that decay naturally and whatnot. That's what it has. So that's the first one. It takes up 4 channels. It's my acoustic piano. My next one here is going to be an electric piano that I chose out of here, and it's just a regular EP piano. And then I chose a warm pad. So the warm pad is to mimic the pad that I used on the Roland Fantom. The electric piano that I'm using is to kind of mimic, you know, the RD1000 sound that I had on the Fantom. And then the piano sound is just a premium piano sound inside of the Yamaha Montage. Now, I will say this, in the Yamaha Montage, with this particular stack, right, using the premium piano, the best pianos that's inside, I can have seamless sound switching. In other words, if I, you know, sit here and play and hold down the notes, and then I switch to a different performance, the notes will sustain, so you won't have notes and stuff cutting out while you're actually switching your performances. So it's just like scene remain in the Roland Fantom. So this is what I have set up. Now, I do want to say that the Yamaha Montage has 2 sound engines. It has the AWM2 sound engine, which has 128 voice stereo polyphony, and then it has the FMX sound engine, which is the FM sound engine, which has 128 voice polyphony. But in this demonstration, I am not utilizing FM. Every single sound that you're hearing is going to be coming out of the same exact sound engine. It's all AWM2. So what I'm working with here is 128 voice polyphony, stereo polyphony. That's what I'm working with this piano. And let's go ahead now and go into Ableton Live, and we're going to listen to that same MIDI file, but played through the Yamaha Montage, and this is what it sounds like. So as you could hear in the Yamaha Montage, there were absolutely no voice dropouts. At least there were no note dropouts that you could actually hear in the actual happening when it was being played. I think that the only sound that performed, the only stack of sounds that performed like this in the Roland Fantom was when we were dealing with the V piano sound engine. Once you moved away from the V piano sound engine, you couldn't do this because you were getting notes and stuff like that were cutting out. In the Yamaha Montage, you're not getting those notes cutting out. So I just think that the way the Montage handles polyphony is actually better. This is 128 voice stereo polyphony. That's all I'm using. I didn't take advantage of the FMX sound engine. I don't lose seamless sound switching or scene remain with these sounds in order to get it to work. And no matter what kind of sloppy pedaling or anything that I might have done, or maybe laid on the sustain pedal or something too much more than I should have, there were still no notes dropping out. And I could have done it with with my Core Chronos, and the Core Chronos has even better polyphony. The way the polyphony operates is even better because the polyphony is dynamically allocated between various sound engines, but I specifically wanted to use something that's just a regular 128 stereo polyphony and show how it works. Now, I understand that there are different caveats and there are different reasons as to why the Roland doesn't perform the way it should, the way I feel it should. Yes, the filters and stuff like that, they affect the polyphony. When you're using the supernatural acoustic pianos, those have less polyphony than some of the other pianos. The zen-core pianos have more polyphony than the supernatural acoustic pianos, but even with the zen-core piano stacked over two instruments, a pad and another piano, we still had notes and stuff like that cutting out. I understand that the virtual analog oscillators are very, very complex, and the way Roland, the technology behind the virtual analog oscillators is actually absolutely amazing. But I didn't use any virtual analog oscillators in this demonstration. All I used was regular PCM sounds, except for the supernatural acoustic, which is, you can't really call it a regular PCM sounds. It's basically sampling and some modeling happening as well, you know, in conjunction, like a hybrid, which to me seems like it would give you more polyphony because there's, you know, you're using some modeling, but you know, either way, no matter how we slice it, no matter how we talk about it, the Yamaha Montage actually outperformed the Roland Fantom. And I purposefully picked a piano, you know, the acoustic piano. I purposefully picked one that was super, super hungry, that takes a lot of different channels and stuff like that. It is their premium one. It has the longest samples that are going to take a long time to decay. And then I picked a regular electric piano to go underneath it and a regular pad to go underneath it, just like I did in the Roland Fantom. And as you could see, there were no notes dropping out, no matter how much I laid on the sustain pedal, no matter what operating system I'm using, nothing. It just simply outperformed the Fantom. Now, this does carry over as you begin to stack sounds, you begin to do sequences, as you begin to add drums and different things and use different things, especially when you start using stuff from the virtual analog, you know, that have virtual analog oscillators. Of course, then the oscillators and stuff are going to be reduced. But I think everybody expects, you know, if you're using something that's going to sound like a Juno sound or an Oberheim sound, or, you know, something from, you know, Dave Smith's Instruments, Moog or whatever, then you're not really looking to, you know, play those instruments like a piano. But a piano, electric piano, and a pad, a lot of people actually do play them the way I just played it. And as you can see with the Yamaha Montage, there were no notes dropping out. And I'm not a real big, huge fan of the polyphony in the Yamaha Montage. I think the Montage could use more polyphony. Well, anyway, so those are my thoughts on the matter. You can let me know what you think in the comments. Again, I understand that polyphony is a complex issue, and it's not an exact apples to apples comparison. because the architecture and both of these instruments is actually so different. But still, from a very practical standpoint, I feel that the Yamaha Montage in the polyphony department outperforms the Roland Fantom. I don't have to be as worried about the polyphony in the Montage, but you can let me know what you think. Thanks for sticking with me in this video and watching it. I truly do want to hear your thoughts. And with that, I will see you guys on the next video.